Hey folks, Arizona guy here. It is August 13th, 2024. Phoenix, Arizona today. It's pretty nice actually. It's 103, which is way better than 110, 115. At 103, it's still hot in the direct sun, but we're parked here in the shade and it's not too bad actually. So I'm up here at the grocery store. I figured I would make today for Mrs. Arizona and myself a boiled dinner. So I gotta try to find a small beef roast. I got potatoes and onions at home, but I don't have any celery or any carrots. So I figured I'd run in there, grab a few items, and go home and put a boiled dinner on for tonight. But you guys, I don't know if any of you have ever lived with anyone who is incapacitated mentally. It's very straining for the person taking care of the person with dementia. Dementia is an absolutely terrible, terrible disease. And for the person taking care of the other person, it is very, very stressful. So there are days when I just have to get out of the house for an hour, hour and a half, and just go and calm down, because I'm basically living in a hostile environment. Mrs. Arizona can become very, very angry and violent. It is really hard for me, knowing the woman I married, how smart she was, how beautiful she was. She was very articulate. We could go places and have fun. But the last 4 or 5 years, she is becoming more and more, I don't even know how to put it in the words, angry about everything. Like today, she wanted to argue with me. I had to run over to Wells Fargo Bank because I tried to deposit a federal check at the ATM, and the ATM wouldn't take it. Apparently they took too much out to pay for my Medicare, so they reimbursed me $500 and some dollars. And I tried to deposit that at an ATM here at the grocery store, and it wouldn't take it. I kept getting this error message on the check. So I literally had to take it to Wells Fargo. And my wife had a supplemental pension check that needed also to be deposited, and I told her I'll just take it to the ATM and deposit it. And she was mad as hell because she wanted me to literally take her check into the teller just like I was taking mine, because she didn't want her check deposited at the ATM. Now, it doesn't make any difference how you deposit a check. Once a check is deposited in your account, it's good. We all know this. It doesn't matter how it gets into your account, whether through a bank teller or through the ATM. But when I left today, she was so irate The audacity of me taking her check to deposit it at an ATM. She just wasn't gonna have it. Folks, I'm telling you, sometimes my life is absolutely miserable. She doesn't want me making YouTube videos. She doesn't want me using Twitter. She doesn't want me going on Facebook. She doesn't want me to have any interactions with other people. So basically, most of the time when I'm at home, I feel as if I have to live in a prison, because everything I like to do, she is mad about. She doesn't have any hobbies. She doesn't do needlepoint. She doesn't do crossword puzzles. She doesn't do anything as far as hobbies go. She doesn't interact with anybody on the telephone other than her daughter or her brother that lives in Florida. And then if I receive a phone call from a buddy of mine or a relative of mine, she immediately has to know who that is. Who am I talking to? Because she doesn't want me to have any interactions with other people at all. It's just a really, really hard life, folks. Taking care of someone with this debilitating condition, it just takes so much out of you. I haven't slept in 2 days because she at times keeps our home so hostile. I am so nervous that I just cannot sleep. But you see, these people with this disease, they have no empathy, no sympathy for anyone else other than themselves. It's part of the disease. And I don't like to complain, because it's my duty as her husband to take care of her. But it is so utterly stressful, people. Like I say, if you've ever had to deal with a person with this condition, your life basically comes down to nothing. You mean nothing to them, even though you're taking care of them. You don't get thanked for taking care of them. So you are basically living under miserable conditions. Now, sometimes she does have a couple of good days. And if she's having a good day, it'll be good. But most of the days are not good. Most of the days are very stressful, very hectic. If she sets her glasses down, she will not be able to find her glasses. She can walk by where they are 3 and 4 times. She will not see them. So you literally have to stop whatever you're doing and go help her find her glasses or whatever. It's just very, very stressful for the caregiver. And like I say, she has no sympathy whatsoever. None. She could care absolutely less how you're feeling, because it is all about her. If I mention something about me in high school or whatever, or if I mentioned that I worked hard my whole life so I could retire and try to enjoy life, she pulls herself right into that. So at home, I am not allowed to talk about myself at all. So it's really difficult. And I just have to get out and see other people, talk to other people, to try and settle myself down. It's very, like I said, very, very difficult. So I am just trying to do the best that I can for her, even though it is not appreciated in any way, shape, or form. It is my duty as a husband to take care of her. When we were married 23 years ago, I had no idea that she would become a person like this. So when you get married, when you're younger and you get married, you have no idea what you're going to be in for down the road. But you took a vow that said, in sickness and in health. Well, that's where we're at. So I do the best I can. But anyway, on a different subject, how many of you last night watched Donald Trump and Elon Musk on X? Trump was on there with Elon, totally untethered, able to speak however he wanted to speak. He didn't have to be politically correct. Freedom of speech was absolutely awesome last night. I certainly wished that Elon Musk would buy other entities such as YouTube to make it better, make it a better place. Because YouTube is back to shadow banning my channel again. If you go on YouTube and search for my channel, you can't even find the little channel icon unless you surf for it. It doesn't, like if I type in Dave Politis Can-Am missing, it automatically pulls up his little channel icon. But for me, it doesn't. You have to literally go out and search for it, roam around to try to find my channel. So YouTube is trying to shadow ban my account once again. So if Elon Musk bought YouTube, it would be absolutely fascinating. You would get freedom of speech back on YouTube. And YouTube started out years ago. They didn't have massive censorship like they have now. This censorship all began like in 2018, and it's out of control now. There are certain things that you absolutely cannot talk about on YouTube. However, you can go to Rumble and you can post whatever you want. And that's how it should be. We shouldn't have all these liberal fact checkers fact checking everybody. People should be allowed to be free. and post what they want. And then the person watching should be able to decide on their own whether that information is good or not so good. That's what freedom and liberty and independence is all about. Giving people personal freedom to believe and think how they want. But the censorship council at YouTube doesn't believe that to be true. So they shadow ban channels such as mine because I'm not in the tank for Kamala. And did you see now where Kamala came up with no tax on tips like it's her own idea? She is stealing Trump's idea of no tax on tips. However, in the Inflation Reduction Bill, there is a complete section in that bill, and Kamala was the deciding vote on that bill, that implies a huge tax on servers, waiters, hostesses, tips. But now all of a sudden she wants to steal Trump's idea. No tax on tips. It's asinine. Absolutely crazy. Anyway, folks, I'll tell you what. The election is going to be completely interesting in November. Because in my opinion right now, Trump is way ahead in the polls. They have not done any recent real, and by real, I mean real polling to show anything about Kamala Harris. And I don't think too many people actually are looking for her left-wing politics. You have to call it politics because she doesn't ever talk about what is her actual policies. The only thing I've heard so far about the border is if we were to build 25-foot walls, the Democrats would build 35-foot ladders to get the people over the wall. That is the only Kamala actual policy I've heard. She doesn't have any economic policy other than tax the middle class at 70 to 80%. When AOC brought up that the middle class should be taxed at 70 or 80%, Kamala Harris applauded and said that's a wonderful idea. So that's really the only policies we know about with Kamala Harris. Why would people flock to that unless they don't really know what her policy is? And they're assuming that everything will be so much better with Kamala Harris. It makes no sense. But the media now, they're all strung out because Trump went live on X with Elon Musk. And as of noon today, over 1 billion people worldwide has listened to that interview with Trump and Elon. That's what the media is afraid of. Trump and Elon got the most views in the entire world for that interview by just a live stream on X. None of the mainstream media can even compete, cannot even compete with that. And that's what they're so afraid of. Can you imagine if Trump was to do live streams from Mar-a-Lago and get 1 to 2 million people for every live stream he put out? the media would be done. They would have to file bankruptcy because nobody other than the leftists would be watching their trash. It would be absolutely amazing. Well, anyway, folks, I'm going to let you go. I got to run in the store. I want to walk around for a little while before I go back home. See what kind of a mood she's in when I get back home. See if she's calmed down about the Wells Fargo deposit. But I'm telling you, folks, every day it's something else. I hope that there are corporations and laboratories out there trying to come up with something new for this absolutely devastating, terrible disease. I mean, Musk is working on Neuralink, I think it's called, where they do a brain implant in your brain. But it will be years and years and years before that gets approved. And it will literally cost tens of thousands of dollars to even try it. So it's way, way in the future. But hopefully, maybe people in the future will have alternative means to deal with it. I hope. Anyway, folks, have a wonderful day. I just thought I'd spend a few moments with you. Please like, subscribe, and share. And have yourselves a wonderful day. Arizona Guy out.